Hello there, how are you today? I'm so pleased to hear that. Thank you so much for joining me here again on my channel. So today we're going to be doing a first impression, and then as always I'm going to be going away and reviewing it for a few more days, and then I'll be back to do my final conclusion at the end. So we have a foundation review. Foundation, the brand new L'Oreal Infallible Stick Sculpting. Oh yes, what? You thought I was going into a rap song then? Stick. Bombastic. No, she's not. This is the new. Okay, sorry, I was reading the French side. That's why I was so confused. I was like, long to new? I was like, what? So sorry guys. I mean, was this not the most polished start of any video you've ever seen from me? I mean, I thought today you're going to be on it. You're going to actually look like a reasonable human being. No, she's not. I mean, really. Sorry. Okay, this is the Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick Foundation. It's just been released here in the UK. It costs £8.99 and it comes in 12 shades, which isn't great. Let's face it, not quite as bad as the Tarte whole situation, but these are the shades it comes in. There's not an awful lot of variety, but of course it is really difficult to tell with these little, like spots of random colors. So yeah, I don't think 12 shades is too bad considering that it's a drugstore, but let's face it, it's not really about the number of shades, it's about the variety of shades. So before I apply this to my face, I am just going to read you out what the kind of claims are, and also I just want to let you know that I've not watched any reviews on this. I've not read any reviews on this. I didn't even know it existed until I was just perusing on the Boots website the other night and I spotted it there. So I'm kind of going into this with nothing, no knowledge whatsoever of this situation. So it just says, introducing new Infallible Shaping Stick Foundation for a long-wear customizable base that lasts up to 24 hours. Our first base shaping stick has an ultra creamy, no compromise formula. This would make a really bad boyfriend if it doesn't want to compromise, which seamlessly melts into skin for buildable coverage. Whenever I've used a stick foundation in the past, it's not melted into my skin. It's actually been quite difficult to blend. I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying. So it gives you buildable coverage, but without the mask effect. The round-shaped bullet makeup applicator allows for precise, even coverage, while the matte formula, so it's a matte, creates a flawless, shine-free base. And it also does go on to say that you can use this as a foundation, you can use it as a concealer, or you could use it to highlight or contour depending on what shade you get. And yeah, blah 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 blah. Then it just tells me how to apply it. It's like telling your grandma how to suck eggs. I mean, I think I know how to apply foundation at this point in my life. I mean really. Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to get straight into this. I don't want to waste time talking because I've wasted time already. So this is what the packaging looks like. I actually think it looks really, really nice. And I have this in the shade Rose Vanilla 120, which is kind of like a kind of pink undertoned kind of, yeah, pink on. It's very pink is what I'm trying to say. If I just do a little swatcheroo. Oh my gosh, it looks very pink and it looks like it could potentially be a little bit too dark. I was really torn between getting vanilla or rose vanilla, and I went for rose vanilla because I thought the pink undertones may complement my skin a bit more, because look, I've got a little bit of spot breakout on my chin. The spot that we thought was going to take over the world, he's shriveled back into obscurity. I mean really. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and I do have a flat top kabuki and I do have a sponge, so I'm going to do one on each side. What I got from the description of this is that it is essentially a matte foundation, it's long wearing, it's really easy to apply, and what else did I get? Oh, it just fucking melts into your skin. I mean, I think I'll be the judge of that. So I'm just going to begin. I'm going to just turn it down a little bit. Don't want to have a tatty moment. I call it the tatty moment. You know, when you turn something all the way up and then it just snaps right off. That's the tatty moment. We do not want that. Okay, so I'm going to begin with this side of my face. If you've not watched any of my videos before, welcome to the channel. the channel of vaginas and dildos and makeup. I mean, that's just what we do over here. So I do have oily skin. I also have mature skin, I feel, because I'm 33 now. I just say I'm 21, like literally. Andreas thinks I'm 21 whenever he asks me, how old are you, mummy? 21. She's 21. Okay. So yeah, cover those bad boys up on my chin. I do have pores. I've got fine lines. I mean, it's all going on my face. So I'm going to just start with the beauty sponge because this is my preferred way to apply foundation. The shade definitely looks way too dark. Oh, just before I blend this in, I just wanted to mention I was going to use the L'Oreal Lumi Magique Primer, which I also bought. I've used this loads of times in the past and I really, really love it. I was going to use it today, but then I decided not to because I thought, well, actually, could it change the look of the foundation? Because it's quite a dewy primer and I didn't really want to risk that. So today I've just gone in with my Nivea primer, which is just really, really good for providing a good solid base for your makeup. And I use it all the time, so that's the one that I went with today. I hope you don't mind me not showing you the Lumi Magique, but I'll happily do like a review or something on it if you would like more info. But for now, let's just blend this bad boy in. Can you see what I mean, right? This is what I've had with stick foundations. I find that I always tend to get like quite light coverage, and I find them like insanely difficult to blend. Okay, so actually it's blended in quite easily after all of my obnoxious moaning about it. It's a very light coverage and I feel like I put quite a lot on, but I'm not very experienced in stick foundation, so maybe I didn't. I am going to go back in and I'm going to apply a bit more because like I don't feel like I've got that much coverage. You can still clearly like see all my little doodah-dillies, you know, through whatever I've put on. This is the side without anything, so I'm just going to pile it on, pile drive it on, get it all up in there. So this is effectively not me building it up, this is just me putting it all on. I'm putting it all on, she's just doing a whole other layer. So this is like the second layer. So on we go again. Did I mention I've got oily skin? I think I did. Oh well. Okay, so I definitely feel like that built up the coverage. So I do feel like if you want a medium coverage with this, you are going to have to use quite a lot of it because yeah, it's actually very light, you know, just with one layer. And I also feel like it definitely is buildable. It melts into the skin. So far those two claims are correct. I would argue though that this isn't a true kind of matte kind of finish. I know that it's early days, it's only just got on my face, I've not given it time to even sit down and have a cup of tea yet, but I definitely would say it's got a little bit of like radiance to it. You know, you can see like the light just kind of, you know, kind of bouncing off it a little bit. It's definitely not flat matte. I would say that my pores look quite accentuated, which I'm not a huge fan of, let's face it. Look, do you know what I mean? Like you can really see the pores. I didn't sign up for this. Not for me. I don't like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the other side and I'm going to use my brush, which I imagine is going to give us a lot more coverage. This does feel quite emollient. You know, when it's kind of going on. I put a lot more on as well that time. I just went for it. Okay, so this is, oh my gosh, it's actually going on so beautifully with a brush. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The Van Gogh brush is coming and everybody jumping. New York to San Francisco and intercity disco. I love that song. I play that for the boys all the time and they love it. Well, they don't really. I just love it. I love it. Okay, so that went on beautifully with the brush. Definitely got the same amount of coverage with the brush side that I've got on this side, but then again, I did apply more of the foundation and a brush will typically always give you more coverage, so that's no surprise. But I do feel like my pores are a lot less pronounced over on this side. Like if you look at this side, can you see? What you can see. Don't pretend you can't. Girl, you can see these pores. Like look at this. And then, but look at this side. I kind of don't feel like they're as pronounced. Feel free to tell me if you think that I'm wrong. But I think the actual finish is actually like really, really pretty. And I don't think the shade is actually that bad. I'll probably, when I'm editing this, I'll look at it and I'll be like, fair, Cameron. Are you blind? Like, literally. But I don't think it's that bad. Like, I've not really dragged it down my neck, but I think it looks good. Like, I'm really liking this. I think it looks great. One thing just to note, it does feel a little bit, not heavy, but it's one of those more, I think, oil-based foundations. So it does feel a little bit like oily upon my skin. So I don't know how well this is going to last, because I do have oily skin, which its life mission is to feck around with foundations. So, okay. So what's she doing now? I don't know. I wish I had, like, you know, a dark shade to contour with and a highlight shade. If I like this foundation, I'm definitely going to get like a contour shade and a highlight shade, because actually the actual product blended so beautifully. I think it would work really, really well as like a contour kind of situation. So, okay, I mean, there it is on my face. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of set this down, because powder, I don't use powder up in here. I just say to my foundation, sit down, stay there, or there'll be trouble. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back just to kind of show you everything as it's settled on my face. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I'm back. I finished off the rest of my makeup. I had a little outfit change because I just did a first impression of the micro tattoo, new kind of microblading kind of look eyebrow product from L'Oreal. I got a 3 for 2 offer, and I got this, I got the foundation, and I also got the Luminous primer. So my kind of first impression of this will be up by now. But anyway, I am actually loving the look of the foundation. I took some pictures and it looks really, really beautiful on camera. I've had it on for maybe about kind of half an hour at this point, and I feel like it's looking really, really good. I'm still not like loving it around, you know, my pore kind of danger zone. But I feel like, you know, on camera, and especially like this makes it sound terrible, but from back here, I think it looks really great. To me, this is not a matte. It's definitely more of like natural to radiant, you know, in terms of the finish. And I am really kind of intrigued to see how it kind of wears over time. But I am going to be testing this out over the next few days to give it a really good kind of workout. I don't believe in these, you know, first impressions where people just, like, I saw a first impression, no shade to anyone, but I saw a first impression the other day, and this individual just, again, no shade at all, but the individual just applied a foundation to their face, applied the rest of their makeup, and just, it would be like me now, just come back saying, oh yeah, I think it's a great foundation, go out, buy it, spend your hard-earned money on this foundation. To me, that isn't a test. Like, it's not a test. I believe that a lot of foundations, if not most of them, could look really, really good upon first application after only being on your face for 30 minutes. But the actual proof in the pudding, or proof in the foundation, is how does it last over time? You know, does it keep up with the rigorous demands of your face? I mean, really. So next time you see me, I will have all of my kind of feedback and conclusions. So yeah, you'll see me in a sec, and I'm off. Okay, hello there. So it's a few days later. I have been wearing the stick sculpting foundation over probably the last 5 days, and I must say that I actually really, really like it. I think that for $8.99 it's actually a really reasonable price. I think that it's really like super easy to apply, but I have definitely found that I prefer application with a sponge. I feel like you just get a more even coverage. I just think that for me, even though you get less coverage with a sponge than you do with a brush, I just feel like it looks better. And I feel like, you know, you can always build up and get the coverage that you would have got with a brush. But yeah, I definitely prefer a sponge, but obviously everyone likes their own different way of applying. It's surprised me because other stick foundations that I've used have tended to be a little bit tricky to kind of blend out on my face, but this one does feel very kind of, I don't want to say slippery, but as you kind of stripe it on your face, it feels kind of emollient, not like super like scarily kind of emollient, but it just has a nice kind of, you know, like slide to it. And then, you know, when you go in with your sponge, it just blends out effortlessly. I can never say effortlessly. How ironic is that? The word effortlessly is, like, for me, the hardest effort word to say ever in the world, like literally. But anyway, I just kicked it again. Guys, can you believe? Look, of course, she kicked the fucking liquid Suede because every single video, every time. I mean, I need to put them somewhere else. By the way, I'm not ungrateful to have them. I love them. I've got one of them on today. I love the liquid Suedes, but I've just got makeup in every single corner of my room at the moment. The only place they can go is under my makeup table. But anyway, so sorry for the interruption. The shade for me is perfect, Vanilla Rose. I feel like when I kind of swipe it on, as you will have seen in the first impression, it looked very like warm toned, and I was thinking, oh, holy vaginas, this is not going to match me. But actually, I feel like it is a pretty good kind of shade match. I tend to go for foundations with like neutral undertones that are maybe leaning a little bit more to the pink side than the yellow side, but Rose Vanilla I definitely feel is a good match for me. I am definitely going to be looking into getting a kind of contour shade as well, because I feel like this blends out so kind of easily. I always say easily. Come on, can you not speak today? It blends out so easily. I feel like you know, using it as a cream contour would be a fun idea. Also, I didn't show you in the first impression, I don't think that you get an awful lot of product. You actually get it doesn't say. Oh, you get 9 grams of product, and I do feel like, depending on how often you use this, it's potentially, you know, you could be going through this quite quickly. I just love it. I think it's just so easy to use. You don't have to get your hands dirty. You just pop it out, swipe it all over your face, and then blend. The one thing that I will say is, if you're a fan of kind of high coverage foundations, I probably wouldn't go for this one, because to me it's definitely kind of a light coverage, at best medium. You do have to build it up to being a medium, and I feel like if you were aiming for a high coverage, like, you could definitely build it up to that, but I do feel like it could potentially look a little bit cakey. I do think it looks brilliant on camera, and I know that not everyone has that kind of need, you know. I know that a lot of people just want to wear a foundation that will look good in person, but for me, because I film and because I take photos and pop them on Instagram, I like a foundation that just looks good on camera. And like, believe it or not, sometimes you can get a foundation that can look really, really good on camera, but in person it just looks shit, you know. That this foundation definitely looks good on camera. I think it looks good in person. In essence, right, this is what I'm going to say. If you are interested in trying this foundation, I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely encourage you to give it a go. And I feel like whether you've got dry skin, oily skin, I would say give it a go, because I've got oily skin, and for me it lasted really, really well on my face. I just found that I didn't have like an overly oily face. It didn't seem to kind of fade away. It just lasted really, really well. It feels weightless, which is a huge thing for me. I can't stand it when you've got a foundation that just feels like heavy, you know, and mask-like. I ain't got time for that, but this feels really, really good on the skin. I think it just lasts really well. As I said, if you've got oily skin, dry skin, whatever kind of skin you've got, I would definitely recommend that you give it a go. But as I say, just keep in mind, it's not even a medium coverage. Like, you have to build it up to being a medium coverage. So if you're not a fan of like lighter coverage foundations, I would either say just don't go for this or go for it, but just keep in mind that you will have to kind of build it up a little bit. And I think the more you build up a foundation, the cakier it could potentially look. So all that being said, I really like this foundation. It's kind of the first stick foundation that I've tried that I actually really do like, and I think it just looks really nice on camera. It's not a matte finish, it's kind of like a natural, more leaning towards the dewy side, I feel, which is my favourite kind of finish. So yeah, that's it. I know I've repeated myself again and again and again. I know I'm speaking really, really fast, but I'm just trying to get everything in. I hope that you're having a fantastic day today. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this foundation. What did you think? And if I've missed anything out, please feel free to ask me downstairs. Yeah, and that just brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was useful to you if you were interested in the foundation. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more.